Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The Wonka movie is more than just chocolate. It's got layers to it. And at this point, I think you guys understand how much I really enjoy layers. And even though the target audience is definitely for kids, they keep in mind who else is watching, which I appreciate because my sense of humor has always been really corny and dry, with the movie giving you the freedom of how you want to watch it, and yet there may be some characters and some plots that don't really seem like they fit, kind of like the Oompa Loompa, but they do tend to carry over and have kind of a fulfilling end to them where they tie everything up. Now I'm going to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but if you are the least bit interested in watching the movie, go check it out. It's a lot better than you might think it is. Now on to two scenes that really explain the depth of this movie and how smart it really is, and just making it just enjoyable to watch on top of everything else that is going on. The first scene being when Wonka gets to show off his skills to the chocolate cartel. Right off the bat, he lets us know that he is inspired by these guys and they are the big wigs of authority when it comes to chocolate. They try the chocolate and experience the different layers and intricacies that are beneath just the surface of it all. In a nutshell, you see what I did there? Layers, and then I said in a nutshell, and then okay, I'm moving on. The movie is showing us how good of a chocolate maker Wonka is. Not only that, the members of the chocolate cartel can't help but be impressed, and showing it in the way that they're eating it and describing what they're tasting, but also what they're feeling in doing so. It's so expressive, so telegraphed, that whenever one of the members says, no, this is the worst chocolate they've ever tasted, we as an audience already know that he is lying.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, an endorsement from Mr. Wait, the worst?
But it doesn't stop there. This scene, which is kind of serving as exposition and telling us who the characters are, even though Wonka got completely shut down by the people he was inspired to make chocolate by, almost the second to most. I was supposed to say second to none there. I was supposed to say second to none. He still wants to share his work and art with everyone else around there. He's not influenced by the people who tell him no. He's influenced by his own creativity, ingenuity, and his dream and passion to push forward.
Willy Wonka's wild and wonderful wishy-washy Wonka Walker. Please don't make me say that again.
This shows us and tells us so much about the characters without us having to sit there and someone explaining, oh yeah, he's really smart. Oh yeah, he's really ambitious and he really wants to go forward with things. This is what is great about this movie. It shows us things and never tells us anything. Now that is the beginning, the start to the height of everything. Let's go into probably the second most important scene that kind of slaps you in the face of what's actually happening. And I gotta warn you guys, this is spoilers, so you've been warned. Willy Wonka finally gets to open up his shop, and it is very important because there's been a lot of build up to this moment. There's a lot of build up to him wanting to see his meaning in life, his purpose in doing what he needs to do and discovering who he is. This scene has a lot of imagery that's going on, and the setting is speaking to us, but it's also speaking to the character. Yes, there are tons of homages to the original movie with the flowers and the bees and everything being edible and the trees and the water. There's a lot of things referencing the original Willy Wonka movie, but they're more than just references. It's very important that it's specifically happening at this point for the character in the movie. The main color is pink, a color that talks about renewal and love and rebirth, and it's also the first thing we see and the first thing that the customers see before they walk into the store is flowers and bees. Something about, like, you know, the story of the birds and the bees. Okay, I don't mean it like that. What I'm trying to say is love, and how bees pollinate and they spread everywhere. The way that he shares his candy, his chocolate, is through love, and through that love he makes everyone happy. And the real secret, the answer to his life and his purpose, is slapping him in the face, and he doesn't even realize it. Even as an audience member, it's not fully obvious that the answer is right in front of all of our faces, but going back, scenes like this happen throughout the film. And it's not just with these big monumental score pieces of everyone singing, it's just characters saying who they are or acting a certain way and letting the audience infer infer the rest. And whenever a character does something, you're like, oh, that makes sense because, well, they're good at that thing that they said that they were good at earlier. So why should I even be surprised? This movie does well to respect its audience, understand them, and treat them as if they are actually really smart and intuitive. In doing so, they continue to give us a beloved classic character that we can continue to love, which is why I got to give Wonka an 8 out of 10. Until next time, play nice. I talked about the dry sense of humor earlier. When the movie has a priest talking about how they gave up their soul for 30 pieces of chocolate, and as a kid, you're probably just like, oh, that's not a lot. That's kind of funny that you did it for so little. But then as an adult who understands the world, you're like, oh, Jesus was given up for 30 coin pieces. And you're like, they just made that joke.